Hey, what's up? It's Bond, and today we're going to talk about Mass Effect. Believe it or not, I know you're surprised. What I have today is actually some really interesting, maybe additional details to the next Mass Effect game, and something we've never seen before that led to finding some stuff that we've definitely never seen before that I think is really interesting, if not groundbreaking. Let's talk about it. Okay, where this starts is YouTube's on my Discord pointed out this post that was made in the subreddit for Mass Effect. And it is titled Official Concept Work with Liara's Full Design from the 2020 teaser. And when you scroll through these photos, we found some interesting stuff. I also found this posted on Twitter, which I imagine it's the same user, and by N7 Pathfinder here, and I think it's really cool. So later in this thread, they linked to the artist ArtStation that had posted this, and it appears they posted it 2 years ago. So maybe people have found this, and this has been talked about before. I don't recall it. I am fairly new to the series and to making content for it, so I don't know, but we're talking about it now. So what this is a Blake Sullivan's ArtStation account, and in the description it says Mass Effect teaser. One of the last projects I worked on while I was at PsyOp. That's almost certainly like a contracted or third-party cinematic maker. You'll find that this is really common, especially with cinematic trailers for games. Those are often not made in-house. They're very often made by third-party contractors. So PsyOp appears to be the one who made this. The rest of the description of these pictures is was responsible for the main hero Liara base model and modeled, textured, look dev'd the broken helmet shards along with the spaceship and crew on the last shot. So let's take a look at some of this. Now, these are shots that we've seen before. I'm actually super pumped about these shots though, because I've always just taken screen grabs from the trailer, and these appear to be like actually fully featured photos here. So I'm hoping that they are allowing people to download these. But here we have that kind of iconic shot of Liara looking back at this ship and some of the crew members. We also have her standing over this armor, which she picks up here. We have the shot again of her walking up a Reaper with a dead Reaper in the background. This looks more like concept art, or it's just a really cool still that I hadn't really seen myself before. And here's where we got into some of the kind of interesting stuff. We have that shard, but we have the actual model they used, the render of it. And here we actually see it in motion here. So we see the whole thing. And that doesn't give us much, but what's really interesting is this. If there's ever been any doubt to what this is, which I don't think there was by most people, there's no denying it now. It's, we see this here. This is very clearly the N7 iconic, helmet. Really, probably more from, I guess it could be from any of the games, 1, 2, or 3. But that's it. That's the helmet. What's interesting about it is seeing how it's kind of ripped apart on the front. Then it's got a very clean cut here in the middle, and then it's ripped apart again over there. Here we have that model in motion, which I don't think gives us anything really interesting beyond what we already saw. But the reason this is neat is because this implies that it is in this trailer, and I will show you it in motion, but I believe that's it right there. So they made this whole model. I've watched this trailer 50 times, if not more, and I've never noticed that there are little bits and bobs of other pieces of the armor around. Like that looks like another part of the helmet. That there looks like the top of the helmet that we see in that model. I never noticed that before, and you can even see a little shard right there and all around. So we'll look at the actual trailer in a moment, but this is really cool. So if there was ever any doubt to what this was, there really shouldn't be any more. The last kind of interesting thing here is this, where it is a more detailed look at the outfit that Liara is wearing in this trailer. And it's what's really cool about it is that if you look here, it's referenced off of her outfit from Mass Effect 3. And it's kind of an extended version of that, with the boots and the gloves and all of that, and then the hood as well. So this is super cool. I want to take a quick look at the trailer and take a focus on some of those bits and bobs, and then we'll kind of talk about what I think this means overall. Okay, so here we have the trailer. I have kind of gotten to that point in the trailer. So here we have her walking up, and then here we see there's a guard right there, and then here's some of the pieces that she actually picks up. And then here, as it zooms in, we see what we see in that ArtStation host of the helmet shard there. I assume another piece of the helmet or other piece of that N7 armor. And then here, the bit that she picks up. And then as she picks it up, you very briefly down here under this hand and up here by her hood can see other pieces of little armor shards and stuff like that. And then she stands up. We have this iconic shot where she looks over and smiles, and then we all get goosebumps because it's really, really cool. So here, just really quick, in case it wasn't very clear in that video, I'm talking about this little bit right here that we see at the very beginning of that clip. These two bits here that I pointed out, that this appears to be that helmet model chunk that we see on that ArtStation page, and this appears to be another piece right there. And then here we have the armor down there, and actually one I missed when I made this little graphic right there. So, you ask, like, what does any of this actually mean? Like, are these new discoveries? Does this mean anything? Not particularly, right? We already assumed that this was N7 armor. It's just, to me, and I've talked about this multiple times, and I've made some people very annoyed. I believe at this moment that any N7 reference to this moment and to this day is a reference to Shepard. I think that moving forward with the franchise, they are going to eventually show us that there's hundreds, if not thousands, of N7 operatives out there. The next game has already teased an operative in their little teaser trailer that is probably not Shepard. It would behoove them to give us reason to believe that an N7 reference could be referencing any of hundreds of thousands of people or whatever. But as of this moment, I will still argue that in this, and especially in these situations, in these teaser trailers and stuff, that any reference to an N7, especially the iconic N7 helmet that Shepard wore in all 3 games, is a reference to Shepard. You just can't convince me otherwise at this time. That could change, absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind. But to this day, I stick with that because of this, because I believe we saw references to Shepard in the 2021 poster, in the 2020 video, and then we're seeing this even more in the 2020 trailer, as well as even in this 2023 blog that we just had for N7 Day, where they bring up what happened to your romance, what happened to Liara, what happened to Shepard. They reference it. We're in an interesting moment because they are showing us stuff that could insinuate the game takes place hundreds of years after the trilogy, but they're also showing us stuff, or they have shown us stuff that insinuates the game could take place right after Mass Effect 3. And it could even, they're throwing in stuff that may insinuate it involves Andromeda and takes place there, or that there's some wormhole between them, or they're time traveling, or they're doing some other thing that we maybe just can't fully figure out right now, and maybe they are still figuring out. So I don't think that this information really impacts all of that speculation and stuff that much. I do think it reinforces some things. I think it is cool seeing Liara's outfit, to see the real design of that fully. And it's kind of neat to see that there was some stuff hiding in plain sight. Maybe this is what Michael Gamble was referencing. So If you don't know, we did just get a new Dragon Age Dreadwolf trailer yesterday, so please check out my video about that. You will see me covering Dragon Age and Mass Effect as often as there's something to talk about, because they are very intertwined and they do matter to each other. So be on the lookout for that stuff. Please check out that video. If you like Mass Effect, if you like Dragon Age, BioWare, if you just like gaming news and speculation, please subscribe to the channel. I love talking about this stuff as often as I can. If you like the video, please like it. If you have your own thoughts or comments, definitely leave those down below. I want to hear from you. I am Bond Diesel all over the internet, on Twitter, all of the other social media, Twitch, where I stream a little bit. Catch me in all those places. And I do have 2 gaming podcasts. One is called The Bonfire Podcast, which is a weekly gaming news podcast. And I have the Mass Effect Hypecast, which is a monthly-ish podcast about the next game, where I will talk about things like this, developments with Dreadwolf, and anything BioWare related that may impact the future of Mass Effect and the next game. So check those out on all podcast platforms or right here on YouTube. That is all I have. So until next time.